Now what will it be? Death or exile?
Hi guys, this is Lupe from the film Exiles with your spoiler-free review for the 2020 Netflix action film Extraction. Extraction is directed by Sam Hargarave and stars Chris Helmsworth. It's also produced by the Russo brothers, based on a graphic novel called Cuidad. There is a quote from the film that I like very much. It says something to the effect of, "A man does not drown because he falls into a river. He drowns because he doesn't emerge out of it." And Extraction is an action film full of really good action scenes, heart-pounding, well-executed action. But at its heart, it's a film about a man who's wallowing in grief and struggling to emerge from the waters of grief. Chris Helmsworth stars in this and he does an amazing job. He's a very believable action star. The film is essentially about him trying to get this kid that has been snatched out of the kidnapped situation that he's in. Essentially, they're two warring drug kingpins, and one of them's son is kidnapped, and Chris Helmsworth is an ex-military soldier who is now working as a mercenary, and he's brought in to extract the kid from his kidnappers. And he is quite suicidal. He's lost all hope because he's suffering from grief from some events that happened in his life. To be sincere, this is a story that we haven't seen before. It's a dead ringer for the Denzel Washington classic Man on Fire. You can look at it as a 2020 version of Man on Fire. What makes this worth watching in my experience is the fact that it's a 2020 updated version of this sort of 2000s, 90s sort of action film. Chris Helmsworth plays a very believable action hero. He does a good job with the emotional parts of this film, and there are emotional parts to this film, which is really good. Also, films like this that star child actors heavily depend on the ability of these child actors to play their roles very well. And several times, child actors just aren't as well versed or well schooled in their craft. So sometimes it falls apart. But the kid did a very, very good job. There is a cameo by David Harbour in this, so that should excite people. It has a lot of Indian Bollywood actors in it, and they all do a fantastic job. Really, I can't give them enough credit. A lot of times when people talk about casting films appropriately, quote unquote, there is this whole excuse that people give about how actors from other countries aren't as good. Watch this film. There are a lot of Bollywood, Indian, international actors that you would never have heard about or seen, and they do an amazing job, both with action and with drama. Like, they're on the level. They do not bring the production down in any way at all. They just don't have big names, but they did a fantastic job. There are some twists and turns in the movie which make it better than just a standard action film, but it's nothing too intelligent or intellectual to really raise it above the level of a good entry into the genre. It's interesting because the genre of these type of just straight action films is kind of past its heyday. But for anyone who's looking, for a little bit of that retro feel, for that retro genre, I think it's a very, very good entry. The cinematography is very good. The production values are very good, especially for a Netflix film. It's quite cinematic. It's something that could actually have been in cinemas, but with the current state of the film industry, it seems like the only things that do really well are like big superhero and franchise movies. So I think Netflix is an appropriate place for this. If I was to compare this to other Netflix films, I'll say that a good comparison would be Six Underground. I would say that Michael Bay is a more experienced director, had a bigger budget, and so the action in Six Underground and the cinematography are actually better than in this. However, this is a better constructed movie. The story is better. The editing and the pacing, it's a better film. But in terms of action, I'd give a slight edge to Six Underground, although don't sleep on the action. The action in this is very good. The director, Sam Hargarave, has a background in stunts. He did a lot of stunts for the Russo brothers and directed a lot of their action for their Marvel movies. So he's well versed in that. And as a matter of fact, there's a one-take sequence in this film that goes on for a very long time. A very, very, very long time. It's a very tense, heart-pounding section of the film, and I think that this is a very, very good addition to Netflix's library. Honestly, I feel like they should be very proud of this movie. So if Extraction sounds like your kind of thing, you should watch it. The only downside I'd say to it is that it's not super intelligent or intellectual on the level of like a Mission Impossible Fallout or one of the great Bond films like Skyfall. But it's a good action film. So there is my review for Extraction. If you've seen the film and you want to discuss, hit us up on Twitter at the Film Exiles. My Twitter handle is Live Love Lupe. You can get me there too. And until next time, stay exiled.